Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of my Uncanny Valley video essay. I assume if you're watching this video, the first part of this series piqued your interest, and as promised, we're going to be looking into the different theories of what the Uncanny Valley predator was or is. And as a viewer disclaimer before the video starts, viewer discretion is advised if you cannot handle historical horror and things that make our shared history a little bit uncanny or scary. I would encourage you, if you have not watched the first video, to go watch it now. That way you know the platform that we are putting these theories on. That way you know everything you need to know to make this video make sense. If you've done all those things, you're watching the Joey Cabana channel. Stay tuned. I want to start this video by getting some of the popular views out of the way. The first one of those being the Windigo. Now, the Windigo is a pretty fun one to deal with and is probably my personal favorite as far as not looking at the facts, but just being a cool story. But the Windigo is, in my opinion, a folktale to keep people from being greedy and committing cannibalism. And the very narrow range where the Windigo lives really takes it away from being something that all of us have a passed down fear of. It just doesn't quite fit the description of what we need to be a humanoid shape-shifting creature that we're all scared of. So to get that first one out of the way, I do not think the Windigo fits the criteria that we need for this predator. That moves us on to, and you probably guess it, the Skinwalker. Now, the Skinwalker fits a lot more than the Windigo does, in my opinion, because it is still a human. It's not a decaying corpse that you see walking around that's very obviously not alive. The Skinwalker fits a lot more of the criteria than the Windigo, but because of its exclusivity to the Navajo Nation, pretty much, and the very obvious traits that it's not a human, because most skinwalkers don't change into another human, they change into animals. I cannot put the Skinwalker as our main candidate for this predator, and that gets rid of the two big possibilities that most people with not the most amount of knowledge say this creature is. Both of those are pretty basic. Most people have heard of those theories, but I wanted to get those out of the way first so that I can get into what I believe is the true creature that we are all inherently scared of. Perhaps creatures aren't where we should be looking when we're trying to find the monster that checks all the boxes of the Uncanny Valley predator, because throughout our history of brutal bloodshed, killing, and harming other people for our own benefit, it is a sad testament of our nature to harm other humans for the benefit of ourselves. And that's where my side of this theory comes in. I'm not necessarily looking for a creature that lived in the past that mimicked humans and tried to kill us and eat us. I am looking at the monster of other humans attacking humans for their own benefit. It's a fact that for thousands of years, the biggest danger to humans was other humans. And we've had to be scared of other humans for thousands of years. Now, this might seem like a pretty boring answer to this Uncanny Valley theory, but I think it is possibly more scary than having a humanoid skin-shifting monster in the past. Follow with me. Contrary to how we live now, us humans once used to live in large family groups or people groups. Now, we would become hyper aware to the characteristics and gestures that our particular family group had. For example, our most distant relatives would probably be second or third cousins in our own family groups. And so we would become very aware of the way that our family did things and went about their ways of life. Now, we would have some contact with other friendly family groups, but we would not really have much contact or way of seeing how other people acted. So these family groups would be very isolated, and you would be hyper aware of the things going on around you by your people, but not so much by other family groups not so far away. So let's review the landscape we've painted. We have a world where family groups live with each other and become aware of the characteristics displayed in their own family groups. They are pretty much constantly at war with other family groups, doing raids and stealing from other family groups. And one day we start to realize that we're all kind of the same people, we just act differently. And so when other people act differently, what is the logical response to that? Do we, one, live peaceably with our fellow humans and realize that we are all one people and come together and build a civilization? Well, not at this time. At this time, I believe most people would teach their groups in their family groups to be wary of the characteristics shown by other family groups. Because if an imposter was among them, they might not be from the same family group. This could be a way of infiltrating a family group to steal or kill or whatever the other warring group wanted to do. So I think that possibly this ends this fear in us from little gestures that we don't think are just about right to what we are used to come from thousands of years of us being scared of other family groups who act slightly different to the way that we act, even though we're all genetically almost the exact same. Now, while this is carried out, this thought process, by some tribes still today, by the time that civilization took over the world and we realized that we could work smarter together and build cities and empires, we wouldn't really need this family group where, well, those people are different, so we should attack them and stay away from them. By the time we got to civilization, we realized that people are a little bit different, but we're mainly the same people. But that didn't wipe out the thousands of years of fear instilled in us by people that aren't exactly the same as us. And I think this is a pretty logical explanation for the uncanny valley emotional response that we all feel. It does leave some holes, but overall, I think it is by far the most logical answer and covers the most of the criteria that is needed to be covered to be pinned as the most probable reason for this phenomenon. So as always, thank you for watching, and please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I am open to any other opinions because this is a theory, so people will have opinions. Nothing is for sure when it comes to things like this. And I'm interested to see what you guys would like to hear from me in the future, what you guys think about this video. And as always, do your own research. Don't just take it from me. Do what I do, research, and find out the truth for yourself. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time. You've watched Joey Cabana. See you guys later.